Hi everyone, I'm Mike Caswell, and now we're going to take a look at one of my favourite bands, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and their tune Danny California. So let's get started with that intro. It goes like this. So the key of the song is in A minor, and we're starting with this A minor chord played here. Now you may notice that I'm using my thumb over the neck a lot, which I'm going to do for a lot of these chords. It's your choice if you want to play the A minor in the regular way, like that. I just think you get kind of, I don't know, it inherently feels nicer and it's slightly more groovy and funky just to grip the guitar and give it more attitude. I kind of put my thumb over the neck and play the root note right there. But if you're not sure of the A minor chord, it's barring the 5th fret, all 6 strings, and with your 3rd and your little finger, you're on the A and the D string on the 7th fret. And, you know, the Chili Peppers have got a lot of vibe and a lot of groove, and especially John Frusciante, his guitar playing is very groovy indeed. So you're kind of giving a lot of kind of groove action with this hand. Kind of bouncing off the bottom of the chord and you know, splitting the chord up into the bottom and the high part of it. So kind of bouncing at the bottom and with that downstroke hitting the top half. Doing that for most of these chords. The second chord is a straight G major, which you can play like that if you wish. Barring the 3rd fret, your 3rd finger on the A string on the 5 and your little finger on the D string on the 5 and your 2nd finger on the G4, gives you a G major. I'm playing it with the thumb over and kind of holding the same chord but just putting the thumb in the root note. This chord is a straight D minor. So I'm playing 5 strings this time. I'm getting rid of the bottom string by muting with my 1st finger. That's gone. Barring these 5 strings on the 5th fret. 3rd finger is on the D7, little finger is on the G7, 2nd finger is on the B6. Gives you the D minor chord. Now, there's a lot of, well, when I say there's a lot of overdubs, there's a lot of kind of colours and little things happening on this track, but inherently, whenever the verse happens, these chords are kicking, you know, they're chundering away underneath, you know, vibing away. So whatever goes on over the top, if these chords on the track are kind of still carrying on slightly quieter. So I'll just play it for you slightly slower, and it goes like this. Okay, the first little kind of variation we hear on those chords in the verse is a kind of a cool little wah-wah thing, or it sounds like a wah-wah. It could be a touch wah or an auto wah, but I'm going to use a wah-wah to get that sound. I'm going to play it without the wah-wah, then play it with the wah-wah so you can hear what it sounds like. But it's a kind of cool little flick he's doing over each chord. It goes something like this. I'll do it without the wah first of all. So that's the flicks without the wah-wah. I'll just play it with the wah just so you can get the effect of it, and then I'll take you through it. So it's a cool little flick over the A minor. If you can see this part of the chord, we're bouncing off the root note on the D7. And I'm holding, on the G, I'm holding the 5 and flicking on and off to the 7. So you're bouncing from the root and just flicking on and off and down to the root again. It's really cool. Same kind of vibe on the G chord. There's the G, and he's using these two. There's the part of the chord, these 2 notes. So I'm holding the 5th on the D, and with my 2nd finger, I'm on the 4th fret, flicking on and off to the 5th, and landing on the root again. So you put them together. I'm using my, well, sometimes I'm using my 3rd and my 2nd, but just then for some reason I use my 2nd and my 1st. It doesn't make any difference. Same kind of idea up at the D minor chord. These are the 2 notes. There's the 2 notes you're using in the chord, which is on the 12th, the D12, and the 10 on the G. And you're flicking on the G from the 10 to the 12. On and off, and land on that 12 on the D again. Which is kind of exactly the same thing we do on the first A minor chord. Then down to this, when we get back to the A minor, there's a kind of little variation on the flick, does this. Which is kind of nice. So you're bouncing off the root note, the D7, and then with your first finger, you're up at the B string on the 5 and going on and off to the 6 and land on that G5. So I'm going to play all those 4 together. Cool little flicks, cool to steal as well for your own tunes, but slightly slower. So they're the 2 component parts for that first verse. You've got the groovy chords and the little wah-wah kind of thing going on. It kind of repeats. So what I'll do is I'll just play the second half of the verse, I'll play the chords, and then go into the wah-wah bit right up to the chorus, and I'll stop at the chorus. So it goes something like this. So you can see we're just building up on that last D minor chord. Basically 2 bars. The chorus goes like this. You want a kind of more full-on sound. It's quite tracked up. It's double tracked at least once. But I'm going to try and just dirty the guitar up and play the chords for you. Then we'll go through it. It goes like this. So, cool little thing again. I'm putting my thumb over the neck as I usually do, but this time I've checked out John's playing live, how they play it live, and he pretty much does this. The reason I've got my thumb over the neck for this one is because we've got for these first two chords, which is basically G major and F major, but we've got this G ringing, this open G string ringing through the chords. It jumps straight in with the F major chord. And what gives it that kind of nice, expensive sound is because I'm using my thumb, I can let this open G ring. It's like adding the second in the chord. It's like an F2. So if you want to know how I'm holding that, the thumb is on the first fret on the E, my third and my little finger on the A and the D string on the third fret. The G string is ringing. It's nice and open. And with my first finger, I'm on the first fret on the B and the E. So that's that kind of F2 sound. Then we go into a kind of a C5 or a C sus2 if you like. But I'm only really concentrating on the A, the D and the G string. It's kind of a passing chord, but it's a kind of a C5. Third fret, first finger on the third fret of the A, and on the fifth fret you're on the D and the G string. Going up to the D minor chord, which is what we've got in the verse, that straight D minor bar chord. And then we go down to this G for this G chord to slip into the F chord, I've got that G string ringing again. It's exactly the same shape, just slipping down to the F chord. So that last little F, we're doing some upstrokes to bring us back into the verse. But they're the chorus chords. So John Frusciante's sound is very vintage sounding, as in all these kind of all the Chili Peppers stuff. You've got a real kind of, he uses old Strats and old Marshalls cranked up with some pedals in front, and it gives a real kind of organic sound. I'm not using an old Marshall, but I am using an old Strat. I hope this, it's somewhere close. I'm just going to play that chorus for you one more time. It's the same time, same chords every time it happens, but I'm just going to try and slow it down slightly so you can just concentrate on what this hand's doing. Because again, it's that groovy vibe, bouncing thing, lots of looseness in this hand. Don't play it, if you play it too stiff sounding, it'll just sound awful. It's got to be real vibey. So I'll try and slow it down for you. I think the key to that sound is kind of lots of in between on the offbeats of the chord. You can see it's lots of dead grace notes that I'm doing with this hand. Okay, so they're the chorus chords, and they're the same chords every time it happens.